Oh, hey there. How you doing there, pal? Welcome to Centralized TV. This is Crypto and Coffee. I am the Data Lord, and Jaime is lost in a jungle in Zimbabwe. I wish him well. I know he'll figure it out. He's smart, but the jungle uh, allures a lot of people, doesn't it? Happy Hump Day to everyone else who's not stuck in the jungle like Jaime. And yeah, I hope we can navigate these crypto jungle markets as well. So let's take a look at Hump Day. No, let's take a look at the markets here. So we are in a lovely position if you want to scoop any bags, my friends. Bitcoin. My phones are blowing up. Let me turn that crap off so it doesn't ruin the stream. Kids these days, man, they're trying to tell me stuff like things I just don't have the ability to act on right now. It's just like, who are these people? Okay, bud, that's good. So Bitcoin at minus 3% today. That's good. That means we had a little rally, a little pullback. That's perfectly healthy. We like that because we have opportunities to scoop. Ethereum doing the same thing, little brother style, a little less cool than their big brother. We have some positive news. People getting a little bullish on that XRP. That's why you got the 11.8% on the 7-day. And Dogecoin. I keep your eye on this guy. Pay attention to Dogecoin. You might have some opportunities to scoop here, and I'll show the charts here so you can really get a good view of that. But same with Polygon. I think Polygon's really going to look pretty in the bull market, and we have a lot of opportunities right now to scoop some bags. So I'd say never waste a good opportunity, right? I'm not saying hold a major position, but they're certainly under development, and I think when people kind of shake some of the cringe of what happened with NFTs more recently, I think Polygon's positioned just to give an excellent NFT experience with smart contracts. So mind that, please. Solana, it had a rally, but I don't understand why. And Litecoin, pay attention to Litecoin. We have a good 4% down on Litecoin, but that's really cool. That's healthy. We had a rally and it pulled back a little bit. That just means we're back under 90 per Litecoin, which means you have an opportunity to get a position because I personally really think Litecoin is positioned to rip and roar in near time. So don't sleep on that. And I will rearrange the world. 1 second. The world, the whole wide world, present. It's true. It's just true. So checking this out, Litecoin here. We have this pretty little wedge. Now, these are day candles, right? So we've been working into this wedge here with Litecoin. And I wanted to see, I know it looks messy, but I promise it's not. We're banging around in here. We haven't really gotten to as tight as it can go, but it can get pretty tight. I fully expect right around this yellow vertical line to see some major upward movement. Now, it could be delayed, it could be, but historically speaking, 8 weeks prior to the halving, we tend to see really dramatic movement upwards. So I think we're positioned for that. I think we have a halving as this orange candle here on August 2nd. I think historically we have June 5th typically where it will rip and roar in relation to this orange, and we are tightening into this wedge. So what happens when you're moving into a wedge like this on a more of a macro view is it just creates a ton of pressure. And so as soon as I just like squints from the sand, I just can't take it anymore. It'll rip upward, and we'll see some new highs potentially. So I don't want you to be ill-informed. You had an opportunity again, like I said, to get a bag before. I anticipate this happens. It's not financial advice. This could past performance does not indicate future results, but we have charting precedent to think that will be the case, right? And just to give people an example, if you were to pick up now and it were to hit, even these modest levels right here, we're looking at 50%. If we're looking at something around here, we're looking at 150%. If we're looking at, these levels it's hit before, that's 225%. This level, 275%, and all the way up here, we're looking at like a 350 or so percent move. So I can't tell you if any one of those things is going to happen, but I'm personally betting something like into that is going to happen. So pay attention. We'll keep covering it until something happens or doesn't happen. And mind you, we can only read the charts. Past performance does not indicate future results, but a lot of times it rhymes. Looking at Bitcoin, you can really see here that we are at this plateau. Now I did an analysis here. You can see these are date analysis. So from where we had this big mega green candle, I'll move over here so you can really see it. So we had this confirmation that we broke out of this 19K level back in 2020, and I'm sorry, 2020. So from that breakout where we had confirmation it was going to go higher until it broke out of that full trend, that was 147 days. Okay. If you look at where we had this big dropout until we had confirmation again, 70 days. If you had confirmation again, it was going to go bullish until it stopped going bullish in the long run. That again was 112 days. And then from where it went bearish until it went bullish again, that was 70 days. So what can you glean from this analysis? Well, we can get an understanding of the date ranges where macro events are tending to happen. So we have, 84 days on this bearish to accumulation. In this accumulation before it went bearish again, 140 days. So the takeaway here is between 70 days and 140 days, we tend to see movements resolve. Now, why is that relevant? Well, we've been in this current movement right here. If you look, this whole movement, we've been in that movement for 90 days now. So we are starting to flirt with like the within a month, seeing this resolve upward or downward, either way, according to historical precedent. Again, we read the charts. We don't know what's going to happen, but we can certainly see what has happened in the past. It probably rhymes. And I don't know if you see that orange line here, but what do you think might create some pressure? Litecoin, huh? So I'm hypothesizing that this Litecoin movement is going to create some major waves in the crypto price action. I think people are going to take that money, probably move it into Doge. I think Doge is probably going to pump, and people are going to put that into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's probably going to have a movement upward. I don't think it'll be the rally. I think it will be a rally, right? What levels do we go to? I don't know. I'm feeling it's probably something around, these supports, because there are resistance right now. So something around like 38K, maybe 35K. But we have full potential for that type of movement to happen. And you can basically ride that roller coaster. You can go, at least what I'm hypothesizing will happen is you can ride Litecoin up, ride Dogecoin up, then ride Bitcoin up, and who knows what will happen after that. But that's really how I'm thinking about these markets right now, because those are key movers even in bear markets, right? And Dogecoin, I want you to look at this big picture too. Dogecoin is in this wedge. You can see we don't look at these crazy things. That was just traders eating goldfish. But, from the bottom to the general peaks, and granted, I don't know if the angle of this might be something more akin to this, but Either way, I prefer a wider wedge just to give more room for possibilities. But uh, I really do think that we are tightening into this wedge, and something probably around into this wedge, we're going to see a movement up. So Doge is clearly at that flat line. Anything under 8 cents is probably a good pickup. So we're currently at 7.1 cents. Pay attention to that. And I know a lot of people are thinking Doge is just a shitcoin. Well, Doge isn't. Doge is actually a very fast, legitimate proof of work. I know it has a funny name, and it's used, to have major price action for guys like Elon Musk, for example. But it really does have a utility. People can move like $17 million for 16 cents off and onto exchanges. So, like, knowing that you can move that kind of weight with Dogecoin securely, and it's kind of accepted on pretty much every exchange. It's really easy to run a Doge node and literally have your own infrastructure to run RPC queries against. Like, there's a lot of upside on Doge. I don't think the general person is paying attention to. So pay attention to that. And yeah, I want to say what's up to everybody. Yeah, Indo with the morning DCTV fams. Hump day. It is hump day, and I hope you have a great humping. Good morning, family. Just Bossy. What's up, girl? I'll see you. Tomorrow should be an interesting day because the Hong Kong opens their markets. Yeah, dude. Basically, Chinese money is allowed to come back into crypto publicly. So I think it's worth paying attention to whatever might transpire there. We have a lot more players in the space now. So I'm really confused why China had a weird relationship with crypto for a little while. They were leading, and then they just kind of like backed off. So not to criticize, I'm just wondering what you're doing. So let's get into our stories for the day, shall we? And I'm sharing this wrong. Shame on me. Just say it. Shame, shame, shame. There's like a way you can do it via like the whole window, and there's a way you can do it with like the browser, and it looks way better if you do a browser. See that? It looks way better, dude. Way better. Okay, so hope you got your copy. Hope you got your pants. If you don't got pants, that's okay. You're at home. If you're not at home, it's not okay. Put your pants on. So let's read this here. Tether turns to sustainable Bitcoin mining. So I think this is a pretty interesting article, actually. What are we doing? 150%. Yeah, there you go. So yesterday, Tether announced its new project dedicated to sustainable Bitcoin mining. So at Tether, we understand the importance of energy in driving progress and enabling thriving communities. That's why we're dedicated to harnessing the power of renewable energy to mine Bitcoin, the world's most open and secure monetary network. Okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. The company says it understands the importance of energy in driving progress and enabling communities to flourish, which is why they have decided to harness the power of renewable energy to mine Bitcoin. Okay. Tether wants to solve the Bitcoin mining problem. Indeed, Bitcoin mining has a problem that is still largely unresolved. It is not so much the high power consumption, but the fact that much of the electricity consumed is still produced from polluting or unsustainable sources. And I think that's probably a better way to word that. We have energy sources that are polluting, for example, like coal if you don't have the right filterings. But you also just have things that are unsustainable, meaning you can't do it forever. It's a resource that's going to run out. Things, for example, that require like lithium, you can't do that forever because we have a very limited amount of lithium on the planet, that type of thing. So really, we should be focusing on like, what can we do forever? Like, what technology can we develop for generating electricity that's not going to rug pull us? Like, I think that's and not going to turn our planet into a Mako reactor from Final Fantasy VII. So in theory, the energy consumption of Bitcoin mining could also be reduced. So much so that in the future, as a result of having the BTC rewards for miners, it is possible that there will spontaneously be a reduction, but for now, it is still definitely high. The policies that have been put in place to curb the non-renewable, non-polluting energy consumption of mining do not seem to have produced significant improvements, partly because either they have not been effective, like in China, or they aren't any at all in many countries. And this zoomed in again. In any countries. Where did you go? Where'd you go? There you go. But the key point is not so much that reducing or the reduction of mining's energy consumption, in part because more consumption also means greater security for the Bitcoin blockchain, right? It's secured by proof of work, but the reduction of its environmental impact. And that's my focus. I think that's a lot of Bitcoin miners' focuses. It's how can we reduce environmental impact? It's not about how can we reduce the amount of electricity consumed. Because honestly, especially when you get into nuclear and recycled nuclear, we have the ability to responsibly make as much electricity as we want. It's just a matter of government entities, ruling bodies, working with people to support it. And frankly, seeing your country's energy as a national security matter, I think is probably pretty important. So, Bitcoin mining, the initiative of Tether. In fact, for quite some time now, there have been many large miners working to minimize the consumption of non-renewable energy, increasingly preferring sustainable energy. In the US, which is the country in the world that mines the most Bitcoin, there is even a specific association of miners dedicated to just that, replacing much of the non-renewable energy used for mining with sustainable energy. This is where Tether's initiative fits right in. They have decided to invest resources in production of sustainable energy to be used for Bitcoin mining operations in Uruguay in partnership with a local licensed company. In addition to investing in renewable energy sources, the company is also looking to expand its team by recruiting experts in the energy sector, partly because the project is described by the company as a noteworthy milestone where the realms of energy and cryptocurrency converge harmoniously. That's like dipping lobster in a little ramekin of garlic butter. A noteworthy milestone where the realms of energy and cryptocurrency converge harmoniously. It's like that. Uruguay's strengths. Although Uruguay seems like a rather peripheral area with the crypto sector, it is actually one of the world's leaders in renewable energy. So shout outs to Uruguay, guys. I see you. Shout outs. With as much as 94% of its electricity generation coming from renewable sources. That's dope. And in particular, wind and solar. Okay. It is a small country with a population of less than 3.5 million. So it's easier to replace much of the non-renewable energy with green sources. What's more, the country is endowed with abundant natural resources, so it offers ideal conditions for renewable energy production, partly because it favors the creation of wind farms, solar parks, and hydroelectric projects. In addition, thanks to heavy investment in energy infrastructure, Uruguay can boast a robust and reliable grid system capable of meeting the needs of modern industry. According to Tether, this scenario provides a solid foundation for the company's platform to mine Bitcoin, ensuring efficient and sustainable operations. So here's Tether's commitment. Tether is a company that issues and manages the world's largest stablecoin, USDT. It has been making record profits lately, mainly due to rising interest rates in the US, which has increased the return of investment in US government bonds. Okay. A portion of these profits is being invested by the company to strengthen its reserves to guarantee the over-collateralization of USDT, but part of it at this point seems to be ongoing into developing the basic infrastructure of the crypto industry, which, I mean, everybody trades into USDT. So, because the whole PAX situation is not good. It's not good, bud. Bitcoin's blockchain is the main starting point, and since it relies on mining Tether's decision seems absolutely logical. I'll read that again. Bitcoin's blockchain is the main starting point, and since it relies on mining, Tether's decision seems absolutely logical, right? Tether only matters because Bitcoin matters, right? Moreover, it had already decided to invest in Bitcoin, the reserves used to over collateralize USDT, but even better is to invest them to mine BTC with renewable sources. So I don't know if you're reading between the lines here. Basically, what they're saying is, hey, Tether's not so sure USD is, USD, not USDT. USD is the best idea to hold our major monies in. Maybe we should actually spread that out a little bit so that if the dollar, for whatever reason, has something unforeseen happen, it's kind of backed still by BTC, and so that stabilizes the value prop of USDT. I think that's cool. If I'm using USDT, I don't mind it being backed by renewable Bitcoin. I think that's probably in everyone's best interest. So Tether's CTO, Paolo Arduino, okay. By harnessing the power of Bitcoin and Uruguay's renewable energy capabilities, Tether is leading the way in sustainable and responsible Bitcoin mining. Our unwavering commitment to renewable energy ensures that every Bitcoin we mine leaves a minimal ecological footprint while upholding the security and integrity of the Bitcoin network. Tether is proud to spearhead a movement that combines cutting-edge technology, sustainable practices, and financial innovation. So, what you think about that? I personally like that. I like that Tether's thinking wider. They're not like just looking at being a dollar peg. They're like, maybe we should diversify a little bit too. I don't mind that. So, how's everyone doing today? Say what's up in the chat. Let's see here. So, next article here, the Bitcoin Standard author. By the way, if you haven't read the Bitcoin Standard, please do so. This book is it'll really shape how bullish you are on Bitcoin and why what we're doing here is pretty special. So I advise you pick this book up, the Bitcoin Standard. So the author of the Bitcoin Standard is going to advise El Salvador on economic strategy. I think this is brilliant. In fact, they couldn't have picked a finer advisor. So Saifedean Amos, a prominent economist and author of the Bitcoin Standard, has been appointed as an economic advisor to El Salvador's National Bitcoin Office, the ONBTC. That's so cool. In a Tuesday Twitter thread with ONBTC revealed that Amos is joining the division as an economic advisor, providing advice to the president and on BTC as the country continues to embrace cryptocurrency. Amos was in El Salvador participating in Cubo Plus, a development program for Salvadorians interested in learning the code behind Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. Afterward, he met the president, Nayib Bukele, and shared his thoughts on the remarkable benefits of the policy of economic liberty, the ONBTC said. So the Bitcoin office, when the authority of the Bitcoin Standard met the leader of Bitcoin country, I love that, great things were bound to happen. We are excited to announce that Saifedean is joining us as the economic advisor to the National Bitcoin Office of El Salvador. That's so cool, man. Also, like, I dig that El Salvador's president, he dresses like a real person. Like, I appreciate that. He's like relatable. So yeah, what's up, Dan? I see you, girl. You gotta love El Salvador. You gotta do it. So Dr. Amos recently traveled to El Salvador. Oh my, I'm clicking everything. Stop me. To lecture students of the inaugural Cubo Plus, the prestigious Bitcoin and Lightning dev program. Afterwards, Saifedean met with President Nayib Bukele and shared his thoughts with the remarkable benefits of the policy of economic liberty. Man, this is like Chad energy. These guys are Chads. You see that? They're chilling. They know what they're doing is like freaking out other countries, like other nation states, are spazzing because of what they're doing here. Because what's going to happen is Bitcoin's going to pump and go into a bull market, and El Salvador is going to like go from being a small country to being a small big player is what's going to happen. So just watch and wait. As an Austrian economist, best-selling author, and well-known Bitcoiner, Saifedean will make a great addition to the President Bukele's Bitcoin team, which includes Max Keiser and Stacey Herbert. He will advise on matters related to various economic policies. So this is a smart move, man. You can't get any more mega Chad than this. Amos will not be receiving payment for his advisory role. He's doing this because he loves Bitcoin country. So Amos shows support for Salvador's Bitcoin strategy. The announcement comes after Amos expressed confidence in El Salvador's Bitcoin strategy in a recent interview with a local newspaper, stating that the country has the potential to become a hub of innovation. I mean, my chips are on that. I think they will. He also praised President Nayib Bukele's zero tax policy for technological companies, which has made the country attractive to investors. So, dude, like, if only the United States would pull this kind of thing, like, I'd freak out. Like, that's what I want. I want a company that's going to create innovation and going to help elevate that country into a state of prominence. That should be zero tax. You should highly incentivize that kind of behavior. People should move from other countries to your country in order to have proper tax haven. And instead, we crank the taxes up on them and punch them in the nuts with 30%. So what's the logic there? Like, are you trying to sabotage things? Like, tell me. You know, the Bitcoin guru claimed he's confident about the possibility that El Salvador will be free from debt in 5 to 10 years. Dude, it might be less than that. He also said that the country has a large potential to be a hub of innovation. El Salvador's national Bitcoin office was created by President Nayib Bukele in late 2022 in conjunction with known Bitcoiners Stacey Herbert and Max Keiser. Through El Salvador's decree N49, the on-BTC manages all matters relating to cryptocurrency. El Salvador has been a pioneer in its national cryptocurrency strategy, making Bitcoin legal tender in 2021 and launching its innovative Bitcoin bonds later that year. Those are volcano bonds. So, in case you don't know, El Salvador has these volcanoes, and because of the volcanic activity, they have geothermal. They can use the heat of the Earth's core to make steam, move a steam engine or steam turbine and generate electricity that way. And so they're mining Bitcoin using volcanoes, which is the coolest sentence I've said today. And they basically have bonds that are backed by that. And so super smart, man. Meanwhile, reports about the adoption of Bitcoin in the small Central American country have been mixed, with indications that it has been slow to take off. According to government figures, crypto accounts for less than 2% of all the remittances made to El Salvador. Remittances, mostly from overseas-based Salvadorians, are a major source of income for the country. In fact, for the same reason, the government promised that BTC would provide more options and greater convenience for those sending and receiving remittances. The country even launched a dedicated BTC app designed in large part to facilitate BTC remittances from overseas. But data from the last year showed that only 2 in 10 people who initially downloaded the app are still using it. So that's interesting. So El Salvador is certainly someone to keep eyes on. They're doing some interesting stuff here, and I think that really they're proving a pattern. I wonder what other countries are going to follow suit, if any. I anticipate some will. So, interesting. Crypto bank giant Silvergate is no more following the New York Stock Exchange delisting. So, looks like what's done is done. We're going to read this here. Silvergate Capital, the parent company to what was once the single largest crypto banking partner, Silvergate Bank, has finally been delisted from the New York Stock Exchange and begun the liquidation process. California-based Silvergate first IPO'd on the New York Stock Exchange in June 2019 for $12 a share. Not bad. Rocketing to an all-time high of 240. You got your numbers mixed up. Share in November 2021. Today, a share of Silvergate Capital Corp trades for less than $1 on the OTC markets. The delisting was confirmed on May 11th, 2023, with over 200 employees being let go and all assets set to be liquidated by November. Deposits and funds from FCX were stored at Silvergate, were seized in January of this year, with losses mounting from fleeing depositors. Silvergate CEO Alan Lane decided to voluntarily wind up the bank. Before the closure of the GoTo crypto bank, numerous attempts were made to salvage it. Brendan Bloomer, an EOS, and Block.one co-founder dumped tens of millions of dollars into the bank, buying almost 10% of total ownership late last year. Citadel and Cathie Wood's ARK Invest also purchased millions of dollars worth of shares and millions in advances from the Federal Home Loan Banks, or FHLB, were taken out by Silvergate. None of the cash infusions were able to save the floundering financial institution. Yikes. You can't save them all. That's the idea. The beginning of the end. So the same day, the Silvergate Capital announced its delisting from the New York Stock Exchange, OTC markets where Silvergate shares are now traded, released an article about how disclosure will be key to the future of cryptocurrency, both calling out Washington and the SEC for failure to clarify, and that's still fair, regulations and advanced comprehension legislation, and acknowledging that proper disclosures from individuals and companies in the crypto space are few and far between. Silvergate's disintegration seemingly set off a slew of regional bank failures on the West Coast, from Silicon Valley Bank to Signature Bank. Indeed, reverberations were still being felt at the beginning of May, when First Republic was closed and taken over by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. So it's done. We salute you. See ya. We got to keep building. That's really the reality. And keep in mind, Silvergate failed because of centralized problems, not decentralized problems. So this really is just an advertisement for decentralized power distribution. Wow. Imagine that. This next article is about people getting pwned, about hacks and whatnot. Let's talk about that. All the crypto exchange hacks, a total of $3.45 billion stolen since 2012. So crypto exchanges have always been the main target of cyber criminals who, through hack attacks, have managed to steal a total of $3.45 billion since 2012. So, almost $3.5 billion. That's some serious money. Gucci. Institutional investors, given the frightening figure, are looking for intermediate solutions capable of safely guarding their assets while providing convenience in operations. Let's try to delve into this issue by reporting on analytical research published by Binance. So, also, my coat is cooking me, so I'm not taking all my clothes off. I'm just taking my coat. So, don't get any funny ideas. So crypto exchange hacks since 2012, research by Binance. So since 2012, I'm saying that wrong. Since 2012, crypto exchanges have fallen victim to numerous hacks and cyber attacks, which have stolen a substantial amount of assets through a variety of methods. Exchanges remain a favorite target of hackers who try to circumvent their security measures given the high amount of cryptocurrencies circulating within them. In total, the sum amounts to about $3.45 billion across 48 different exchanges. Okay. With the theft curve accelerating from 2020, most likely motivated by the reputation the crypto industry has earned in the recent years. Those who lose out, without a shadow of a doubt, are mainly the investors who punctually see their capital disappear from one moment to the next, and in most cases are never compensated. And this is why we talk about self-custody, right? If you are in self-custody, you don't got to worry about this. You didn't trust someone else with your keys in the first place so that they can't get stolen unless they want to fight you Mortal Kombat style with a dirty shovel, in which case I got one too. And then you get to play Legend of Zelda Link to the Past and dig up every freaking square inch of any property I might have walked on. So good luck. Over US 3.45 billion in assets lost to over 48 different exchange hacks since 2012. So looks like in 2018 it really ramped up hard. Kind of hit some steady attacks between then and 2020, and then more recently there's been a huge move up. So although exchanges are yeah, Zelda for the win, no kidding. They call it a link to the past because you are the link. Wow. That's also why Link's name is Link, by the way. You are the link between the real world and the video game world. Whoa. Although exchanges are supposed to serve exclusively as fiat on-ramps and trading solutions, it is now well known that many users use them as custodial solutions. Given the user side simplicity offered and given the low compensation or low commission costs compared to non-custodial providers. Yeah. In addition, software or hardware non-custodial wallets underlie the need for good knowledge of best practices in terms of private key management. And why do we exist? We want to help you do that because you shouldn't have to trust nobody. And the mechanisms inherent in blockchain on the part of their users who are still part of a narrow niche. So what are they saying? They're saying Dirty Shovel Gang is a rare breed. That's what they just said right there. The average retail user prefers to download the Binance app, make a transfer from their home banking, trade, or gamble on centralized markets that are much more liquid than decentralized counterparties and custody assets directly on the exchange. The dual custodial operational role of these infrastructures, in addition to attracting small investors, also attracts many hackers who try to find out the private keys to exchange wallets, thereby hitting a jackpot. Jackpot. Light bulb. Binance's research showed that of the 3.45 billion stolen since 2012, 29.4% come from capital leaks through the hot wallets of these platforms, representing the most common method used by cybercriminals. Did you hear that? Hot wallets are where most of this pwnage comes from. At least 30% of the pwns are coming from hot wallets. You hear that? Hot wallets. Hot pockets. Next, we find numerous other techniques used by hackers, such as compromise of security systems and exchange servers. Inside, participation, data leaks, unauthorized transactions, internal staff errors, vulnerabilities in protocols, and bugs. So, looking at this, what's up, Yale? I see you, bro. Yeah, the meat wallet, exactly. Over 3.45 billion in assets lost to over 48 different exchange hacks since 2012. So, obtained access to that hot dog wallet. You know, you got to be careful, man. That was so dumb. You got to protect your hot dog, and you got to protect your hot dog wallet. Just be careful. It's a dangerous world we live in. Unauthorized transactions, which I think that just means someone's phone gets stolen. Unknown, meaning we just haven't verified it yet. Compromised systems and servers, 11.8%. That's interesting. So that's like your traditional cyber attack, right? Where someone's able to find like, hey, you haven't patched this Linux server. And so, or hey, you haven't patched this Windows server and they know how to get in that way. Or hey, you haven't patched this network appliance and we know of an exploit to get in through that. So 11.8% on that. Internal staff error or mistake. Yeah, air quotes, mistake. 2%. So that's really uncommon. Data leak, 3.9%. And I imagine data leak is like probably the same thing as an internal staff error or mistake. That's like we coded something wrong and people were able to read our private key where it shouldn't have been in the first place. Malware, 3.9%. So keep your antivirus patched. Vulnerability in protocols 2%, and so that's really rare. That's actually good to hear that protocols are rock solid. Bugs and re-entrancy attacks. That's pretty much people taking a certificate that allows you in and just confiscating it and doing re-entrancy that way. Suspected trusted insider. I'm sure most of this unknown pie is that. I'd be shocked. Basically, you have Sam Bankman-Fried types who are intentionally being a little birdie in the grapevine, right? Because I heard it through the grapevine. Various methods, which is super undescriptive, so appreciate that lack of detail. The risks of self-custody for institutional investors and the role of centralized custodians. So while retail investors are mentioned in the previous section, prefer the conveniences of exchanges, institutional investors are looking for a more flexible solutions that can compromise between the security trade-off and the operational convenience. This kind of investor who manages assets on behalf of third parties is increasingly interested in cryptocurrencies and the volatility present in these markets, but necessarily requires professional services with high security standards and easy access to assets to conduct trading operations. Yeah. Binance has classified traders who custody assets on behalf of institutions into 3 categories: custodians, custody technology providers, and hybrid custodians. Which, mind you, this isn't just custodians that like Linkin Park. This is probably a bit of a normal custodian mixed with a technology provider. So, and that's what we're seeing here. Each of these has advantages and disadvantages regarding private key management of wallets, regulatory protections such as insurance and audits, and speed of access to assets. Whew. Hot dog. Meat wallet. I'm like, don't say that. That's what it's set up here, man. Look. You didn't see that? It says they obtained access to hot dog wallet. It's not good. 30%. So custody, they manage the client's private keys, meaning you've totally given them access, right? They do not offer proprietary custodial technology, so they're tapping into some third party, right? They're using a ledger or a Trezor or something of that like. Typically has regulatory standards, so that's a custodian. A custodial technology provider does not manage client private keys. Okay, so I imagine that's more like what like Ledger and Trezor do. They don't manage your private keys. They have a system that lets you do that. Offers proprietary custodial technology, which is what those companies do, and it's not regulated. And so a hybrid manages clients' private keys, so they have full custody. They offer proprietary custodial technology, so they're doing their own tech, right? And sometimes they have regulatory safeguards. So it sounds like the hybrid is probably the better approach of the two if you're doing, big business money, not private individual. If you're private individual, you should probably self-manage, right? There's still no single solution nowadays that can enable maximum security and at the same time offer all the conveniences and advantages related to the management of trading operations. In this regard, experiments are underway that can find a meeting point between these two institutional needs. In any case, according to the study conducted by Binance, the Off-Exchange Settlement, or OES, represents one of the best examples regarding custody providers offering advanced trading services. Specifically, OES allows institutions to access their assets in much the same way as on retail exchanges, but without the need to actually deposit capital on the platform. The mechanism consists of 3 steps. An institutional custodian holds the assets internally on behalf of the client. So you give them the monies. 2, the custodian locks the majority of the funds into a multi-signature wallet. So meaning more than one person has to agree for a transaction to go through. That's what that means. A crypto exchange provides the institutional client with a tradable credit on the platform that reflects the amount of assets managed by the custodian. So that's how they're that's how they're offsetting your risk. This provides the right trade-off between security dictated by the presence of a multi-signature wallet and the guarantees offered by the custodian, and the trading side convenience offered by the exchange. To date, there are a few providers of OES solutions. Among them, we can mention Kifu or Sifu or Kefu. I don't know how you pronounce that. A partner of Binance and Copper, which provides this service for transactions of smaller volume. So, super good info. Mt. Gox, the largest hack in the history of crypto exchanges. The largest hack in the history of crypto exchanges concerns the attack that hit the Mt. Gox exchange platform in 2014, which at the time held the record of 4 volumes generated by traders in the industry. Mt. Gox was founded in 2007 by Jed McCaleb, a computer programmer who initially established the platform as an exchange venue for cards from the well-known game Magic: The Gathering. In fact, the initial name of the exchange was the Gathering Online Exchange. I did not know that. That's new information to me. So GOX stands for Gathering Online Exchange, tipping hat to Magic: The Gathering. But it was renamed Mt. Gox the moment there was a shift into the cryptocurrency world. So Mt. Gox was originally made to trade Magic: The Gathering cards. In 2014, the platform handled about 70% of all Bitcoin trading activity, both because of its centrality and the fame it had gained, and because there was not as much competition in those years as there is today. In February of that year, the largest hack in the history of cryptocurrency theft occurred, taking 850,000 BTC from the exchange. You see that? 850,000 BTC, bro. That's a punch in the nuts. These nuts. The platform quickly declared bankruptcy, and investors were left holding the bag for many years until a settlement was reached between creditors and bankruptcy attorneys. Specifically, given the recovery of 200,000 BTC and the disproportionate rise in the price of the assets in the years that followed, the Mt. Gox trustee found himself holding a dollar counter value capable of repaying all creditors based on the balance in fiat, not BTC, held in 2014 on the exchange. So TLDR, they basically got paid the dollar amount and lost out all of that opportunity, to trade up. So, oof. Yeah. What's up, Salty Prepper? I see you, brother. Mt. Gox, Magic: The Gathering Online Exchange. Yeah, now you know. Now you know. So, these guys are nerds, is what you need to know. In practice, creditors recovered everything they had lost in dollars, but they lost the opportunity of a lifetime in holding the best performing asset of the entire decade. So, ouchie, wah. Liquidations are still ongoing, and currently the Mt. Gox trustee still holds 137,890 BTC, while the remaining 64,214 BTC were sold to the market between 2017 and 2018. From that event onward began the first narratives of Bitcoin maximalists about the importance of holding one's private keys personally and the dangers of exchanges as cryptocurrency custody platforms. Dirty Shovel Gang emerges from the earth, dressed like Link from The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. The question is, are you wearing the red, the blue, or the green armor? I'm wearing blue. So, Mt. Gox, look at this. So this yellow line's Mt. Gox. You can see, like, as soon as Bitcoin started ripping and roaring, they take it down. Salty Prepper's OG. You were one of the Mt. Gox guys who got hurt, or you were one of the Magic: The Gathering nerds with boxes of cards that went out of style after the next season came out? It makes me sad when that happens. That being said, the artwork on Magic cards is dope. So this, dude, this is one of the best articles I've seen in a long time on crypto security. So I will share this in our Discord here because it's good. That's really freaking nice. It's nicey nice. Right here. There you go. If you're not in our Discord, link in the description. Join in there because we're very active. We hang out, we talk, we make jokes. I played card games. Like I see you. I understand. I for a little while was playing Pokemon cards competitively, so I understand. I was never a Yu-Gi-Oh guy. I had Magic cards, but I didn't have friends who played at the time, so I gave them away to someone I worked with. Now you know. So our let's get to our headline article for today. If I can find where it is. Where is it? So many tabs. So many tabs. Major Bitcoin whales abandoning crypto exchanges. Oh, yeah. Anthony. Magic the Gathering online exchange, aka Sweaty Nerd Coin Wallet. Yeah. AKA Get Pwned, AKA Join Dirty Shovel Gang. How much USD has been stolen and scammed since 2012? I mean, period, not in crypto? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, certainly if you want to talk, things like Avon or something, pyramid schemes and the like. So major Bitcoin whales are abandoning crypto exchanges. Bitcoin whales, or individuals holding large amounts of the cryptocurrency, in case you don't know what a whale is, it's someone who can sell and the whole price goes woo, woo, like a big whale breaching the ocean. Like, but with price action. So Bitcoin whales or individuals holding large amounts of cryptocurrency appear to be gradually retreating from crypto exchanges, according to a critical indicator known as the exchange whale ratio. This metric, which is the total BTC amount of the top 10 transactions divided by the total BTC amount flowing into the exchange, has slid to around 0.3, a level not seen since March. And so when it gets low, that means the whales are leaving. They're putting their money on self-custody, either decentralized exchanges, or they're just keeping it in their secure storage until it's time to play. And they're going to put some money on exchanges, take their profits. And that's what they do. As per this figure, large Bitcoin holders seem to be either hodling, hold on for dear life is what that stands for. It was originally a guy making a typo on a forum saying to hold, but he typed in hodl, and people realized hold on for dear life is a good acronym. So hodling is our term. Or possibly moving their assets into other forms of investments or private wallets. The exchange whale ratio is primarily used to identify the exchange as favored by these so-called whales. Analyzing the relative size of the top 10 inflows to total inflows sheds light on where the big players are most active. For instance, Gemini, which is known to cater predominantly to whale users, often witnesses dramatic price fluctuations. This behavior can lead to potential risks for some traders while simultaneously opening opportunities for arbitrage. Wow. Meanwhile, the Bitcoin price seems relatively stable, sitting at $27,600, according to data from CoinGecko. This calm pricing in the face of whales movements might suggest a growing resilience in the market to large sell-offs. What remains unclear is the reason behind the massive whale migration. I love that sentence. This might be due to whales feeling more comfortable with their coins in personal wallets. You think? Really? You think? Others might speculate that these large holders could be diversifying into other investment avenues or cryptocurrencies. And there's like Twitters you can pay attention to that are like whale alerts. And what I'm seeing is that a lot of whales are moving their money into altcoins right now because they're just trying to get really big bags while the prices are super low, and they're trying to self-custody all of those wallets. So whenever the price does rip and roar, they're able to pump the price, sell their bag, and do that, ring around the rosy. So until more regulatory clarity comes into the space, I think you're going to see that type of behavior. That being said, I really do think the decentralized exchange is going to become the standard in the next few years here. So pay attention to that. And last article we'll go over, because I don't want to talk about FTX anymore. They're Jan Fest to me. It's always like he sued he, and sometimes you want to talk about it, but it's done. I want to read about things that are good and inform you a little bit. So Bitcoin has over 10 million ordinal inscriptions. So if you don't know, now you know. An ordinal is a protocol that allows you to inscribe NFTs on Bitcoin. And I don't worry about whales. I'm so small, the waves don't even affect me. I'm not even a little fish, more like kelp on the seafloor. Dollar cost average is all I can say. DCA, do it. So Bitcoin now has over 10 million ordinals inscriptions. That's major adoption in a short time frame. Bitcoin users have registered over 10 million inscriptions into the Bitcoin blockchain using the newly popular Ordinals protocol. The milestone comes shortly after Ordinals founder Casey Rodemore stepped down as the project's lead maintainer on Saturday. Ordinals blistering growth. According to data from Dune Analytics, Bitcoin sports exactly 10 million ordinals inscriptions at writing time, the vast majority of which were recorded over the past month alone. So people are really adopting this. An inscription refers to data embedded into a Bitcoin transaction's witness data. Inscriptions have always been possible on Bitcoin, but ordinals allows users to inscribe data into a single identifiable Satoshi. So it basically has a lookup address. That's the idea. Opening up a range of potential applications. So when ordinals inscriptions first gained traction in February, their primary use case was for producing non-fungible tokens. This has already turned Bitcoin into the second most popular network for trading NFTs next to Ethereum, according to CryptoSlam. However, ordinals inscriptions ramped up in April as users started leveraging the technology to issue fungible crypto tokens through the experimental BRC20 token standard. I think it means non-fungible. It says fungible. The standard was highly popular for issuing meme coins at first, but is now, that is fungible. But is now used, that's ERC20, but is now used to host the first Bitcoin-based stablecoin, Stably USD. So pay attention to that. That could be interesting. I'll research that for you. After its unveiling in early March, BRC20 triggered an avalanche of new inscriptions beginning in late April. And peaking in early May, the transition in ordinals dominance from NFTs to BRC20 tokens is visible on the blockchain through the takeover of text-based inscriptions over image-based ones at the time. So, I'm not going to read the rest of the article here. You can see basically the fees got cranked up, but that's dope. Major adoption overnight. Clearly, there's demand for it. Proof of work is more secure than proof of stake, and to be able to throw your inscriptions on that's major. Today is when Hong Kong is opening their trading. So. Have your bags is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, really. Thank you so much for joining me today on Decentralized TV, Crypto and Coffee. We talk about crypto. We drink about coffee. It's iced coffee time. I want you to know that. It is. So I'm going to awkwardly dance until you leave. So, the question is, what are we dancing to today? Is it shake therapy? I think it is. What's that bass line? What is that? Keep calm. Huddle on. We're here. Lo-fi for you, baby. I like that sub bass. A little subby. Dirty Shovel Gang, make sure you're self-custody. Make sure you're holding your keys. Yeah, 2 hours away. It's over. Why are you still hanging out? What are you doing? You liking this, or are you just hanging out? Also, I got these really dope stickers, so probably gonna do sticker giveaways with this stuff. We have these like all of those stickers. Probably do a giveaway. I know y'all like some EC3 stickers. What you know? I got 'em. See you later. Have a good day, friends. Live a love you, bye. I won't stop it. I'll let you hear the whole thing. Where's this work? I'm unapologetic though. You gotta own it. You're gonna be dorky, you can't stop it. Put him out. By the way, this guy's the guitarist on this. It's the Yale guy. What's that? Alright. Finish for it. See you on Friday. Love you. Bye.